Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayers.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with the abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promotion and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge.
Amen.
Amen.
Item number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, we wish to welcome you to this special session today. The sitting is entirely dedicated to paying tribute to an eminent son of Teso, and indeed a great nation, Uganda. The deceased was a paramount chief of Teso Cultural Union. His Highness Emorimor Papa Teso, Augustine Kadugala Osuban. Without preempting the motion by the right Prime Minister and the leader of government business, I take this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for blessing this country with the Papa Emorimor Augustine Osuban. The Teso are the ethnic group from Itunga group that originate from among the Nile Hamads that cover a big stretch all the way from Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, a group of people who are known to be hardworking, loyal, disciplined, trustworthy, and open-minded people. The Emorimor was a great advocate of people of unity, for people of Teso and Uganda at large. That's why you find the fights that used to be in Teso ceased because of Emorimor. His devotion to preaching about the morals and cultural values was immense and must be appreciated for that. He served these people with the distinction, the nation, and indeed the people of Teso will dearly miss Papa Augustine, Emorimor, Osuban. I urge you, the fellow countrymen, to learn from the distinguished service and exemplary leadership of this fallen son of Teso and Uganda at large. As we send off Papa Emorimor to his final resting place, may we as leaders continue to strive for peace, unity, growth, and prosperity for this country. Something that Papa Emorimor has lived for. If anybody asks Papa Emorimor, he would always tell you, I am fighting for my people, especially on issues of compensation. He was very passionate about it. He has fought for his people to be united, no divisions in Teso. The call for leadership, especially of the cultural institutions, is a call for unity, growth, and inspire the people under your charge. Let us honor the memory and legacy of His Excellency, Augustine Osuban Emorimor, by leaving Uganda a better Uganda that we found. We should not leave Uganda that people will always regret. Why was these people born? I mean, why were these people born to be in Uganda? So let's strive our best to make sure that we will leave Uganda a better Uganda. And we are all one Uganda, irrespective of political parties. Honorable members, I join with all of you to celebrate a unifying leader, born, grown, and died a Catholic. A very devoted Catholic, an accomplished civil servant, and a leader of Iteso cultural community worldwide. May the Lord grant the bereaved family of the Teso people and the family of Emorimor ever merciful love, and may Papa Emorimor rest in peace as we pay tribute to him tonight. And those who are still living should still follow what Emorimor was fighting for, especially on the issue of unity, prosperity, and the rest of the things for the good of Teso, for God and my country. Next item.
Motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Emorimor Augustine Osuban, the paramount chief of the Iteso Cultural Institution.
Right, Honorable, before you come in, can I kindly just recognize the people who are in the gallery? The gallant sons and daughters of Teso. We have Mr. Augustine Omare Okurut. He's the Prime Minister of Iteso Cultural Union. You're most welcome. We have Ms. Beatrice Malinga, Deputy Prime Minister. Welcome. We have Mr. Tom Okurut. He's a Minister of Lands in the Cultural Union. Welcome. We have Mr. Ivan Engoru. He's Attorney General in the Ichu. Welcome. We have Toto Ariko Rosemary, Minister of Education in the Ichu. We have Papa Sande Emolot, the chairperson of Ichu Council. We have Ambassador George, a team leader of Secretary General Uganda Kings and Cultural Leaders. Welcome. We have Engineer Ayat, Director, Ministry of Works. Welcome, Engineer. We have Mr. Ochailap, the owner of money. Mr. Ochailap Patrick, you're welcome. Mr. Tedu is a manager, Minister of Local Government. We have our own Professor Francis Omaswa. Professor, you're most welcome. We have Dr. Patricia Achan Okia, the Deputy IGG. Patricia, you're most welcome. We have Lady Justice Margaret Oguli. Lady Justice Margaret Oguli, you're most welcome. We have Lady Justice Susan Abinyo. You're most welcome, Susan. We have Honorable Olen Charles, former MP. Thank you. Honorable Alaso Alice, former MP. Thank you. Honorable Otekat John, former MP. Welcome. Honorable Amoit Mariam, former MP. Most welcome. Honorable Onapito Emoloit. Most welcome. We have Martin Osengor, ICU UK chapter. We have Engineer Opiat Julius, Commissioner in Ministry of Water. We have Dr. Ating Ego, the Deputy Governor of Bank of Uganda. Doctor, you're welcome. We have Professor Pius Okongo, Chairperson Health Service Commission. We have Mr. Charles Opolot, Medical Consultant. We have Esther Abaikor, IGAD Ethiopia. IGAD Ethiopia, welcome. We have Mr. Richard Omongole, he's a lawyer, counsel. Counsel, you're welcome. We have Mr. Ebitu James, PS, Minister of Gender. Welcome. We have Mr. Peter Emorut, Commissioner of Electoral Commission. Welcome. We have Colonel Freddy Anata, CEO, Wanzaledo Sako, you're most welcome. We have Ms. Jane Ekapu, Secretary, Equal Opportunity Commission. Welcome. The family has not yet arrived. The family is here. The family of the late Papa Emorimor is here. Family, just stand up. You're most welcome, family. Thank you for coming. And we have Captain Michael Mukula, Honorable. Captain Mike Mukula, Vice Chairperson of NRM Eastern Region, you're most welcome. The members in the gallery, this is your parliament, the Parliament of Uganda. And anytime feel free, this is your house. We are just your representatives. We are here to serve you. And we condone with you as Parliament of Uganda. We condone with you as Parliament of Uganda. And We promise to take parliament to the people and bring people to the parliament. And here we are together with our people. We want to thank you so much. And honorable members, you heard all those names, professor, doctor. I told you that the wise people come from the East. In the public gallery, we have Honorable Musamali Paul. He's a member of Yala, our candidate. Honorable Namara Dennis. Honorable Dongo George. Honorable Akol Rose. Honorable Mugenyi Mary. Honorable Kakoza James. These are the NRM Yala legislators. You're most welcome. Most importantly, for the Teso community, you have yours, who is none other than the number 2 of this country, the Vice President. Vice President, you're very welcome. And thank you for coming. We also have in the family, we have Mrs. Osuban Akaliait Agnes, that is the wife. We have Francis Osuban, that is the son. We have Christine Apio, that's the daughter. Josephine Apio is the daughter. Agnes Ikiriat is a daughter. John Osuban is a son. Genevieve Osuban is a daughter. Patra Osuban is a daughter-in-law. Martha Osuban is a daughter-in-law. Vian Niyonsima is a son-in-law. Simon Eyoku is a personal doctor. And Martha Alupo is a nurse. Some 2 months back, we again observed a moment of silence for the late Martin Osuban. Papa Osuban lost a son who was a commissioner in education called Martin. And it was really a sad moment. As members of this house, before we receive the Prime Minister, can we raise for a moment of silence for the late Papa?
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I move under Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure, a motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Emorimor Augustine Osuban, the paramount chief of Teso Cultural Institution. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, whereas Parliament has with deep sorrow learnt the death of Emorimor Osuban, the paramount chief of Teso Cultural Institution, which occurred on 5th February 2022 at Mulago National Referral Hospital, aware that the Emorimor Augustine Osuban was born on 12th August 1934 in Kumi district
and attained various academic qualifications, including a national certificate in agriculture from the School of Agriculture, Hoghill, Durham, UK, a Scotland higher certificate in mathematics, physics, and chemistry from Dundee Technical College, Scotland, UK, and a Bachelor's of Science in Agriculture from Edinburgh University, Scotland, UK. We're further aware that Emorimor Augustine Osuban has had a celebrated career serving with honesty and integrity, holding key responsibilities, including commissioner in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries, and Fisheries until his retirement, service on several boards, including Kinyara Sugar Works, Uganda Tea Growers Corporation, Produce Marketing Board, and Uganda Medical Stores. Deployment in 1954 in the Ministry of Agriculture as a laboratory assistant in Serere District, and subsequently in Arapai Agricultural College. Recalling that Emorimor Augustine Osuban Lemukol was elected on 21st November 1998 and enthroned in April 2000 as the Emorimor, the paramount chief of Teso Cultural Institution, a position he has held with immense humility and dedication until his death. Further recalling that Emorimor Augustine Osuban Lemukol used his position as Teso cultural leader to advocate for and promote moral and cultural embracing government programs amongst the Iteso community. Noting that as an advocate of peace and stability, Emorimor Augustine Osuban Lemukol played a key role working with the Uganda People's Defense Forces and the Arrow Boys Auxiliary Force to defeat the Lord Resistance Army in Teso sub-region. Now, therefore, be it resolved as follows: that Parliament conveys its deep condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, the people of Teso sub-region, and the people of Uganda for the loss of a notable cultural leader and a citizen. 2, Parliament recognizes and appreciates the contribution and service that Emorimor Augustine Osuban Lemukol rendered to the people of Teso sub-region and Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business. Is the motion seconded? Seconded by the Government Chief Whip, by the Vice President, by Honorable Bahati, by Honorable Obiga, Honorable Harriet, Honorable, that is Minister of Teso, Honorable Guang, Honorable Asamo, Leader of Opposition, Honorable Elijah, by the whole House. Thank you so much. Thank you for. Members, why I'm mentioning some names is for the Hansard purpose. Would you love to speak to your motion?
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the justification for the resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Emorimor Osuban Augustine Lemukol, the paramount chief of the Iteso Cultural Institution. The Honorable Speaker, on Saturday, 5th February 2022, we received sad news of the death of the Iteso Paramount Chief, Papa Emorimor Osuban, Augustine Lemukol. He died at Mulago Referral Hospital. Emorimor Lemukol was born on 12th August 1934 in Ikumi district. Right Honorable Speaker, Emorimor Lemukol attended the following schools: Modera Boys Primary School from 1942 to 1946. Holy Angels Junior Secondary School, Modera, 1947 to 1950. St. Peter's College, Tororo, 1951, 1953. The School of Agriculture, Hogol, Durham, UK, where he acquired a national certificate in agriculture. That was in 1957 to 1958. Dundee Technical College, Scotland, where he attained a higher certificate in mathematics, physics, and chemistry in 1958 to 1959. Honorable Speaker, Edinburgh University, Scotland, where he got a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, 1959 to 1963. West Virginia State University, USA, where he attained a Master's of Science in Agriculture and Economics, 1963 to 1965. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, Emorimor Lemukol served in various capacities. In 1954, the Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Cooperatives in Serere Research Station. 1965, he taught agriculture economics, farm management, and agriculture extension at Arapai College, Agricultural College. 1968, he was a principal of Arapai Agricultural College. 1970, Honorable Speaker, he was a regional agriculture officer for Northern Region. 1972, he worked as Assistant Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture. 1977, he was a Deputy Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture. 1979, he worked as Minister of Works, Housing, and Urban Development. 1980, he was Acting Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture. 1982, he was a Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Speaker, Emorimor Lemukol retired from government service in 1989 and carried out several consultant studies for various agencies, that is FAO, UNDP, USAID on agriculture. Honorable colleagues, and Honorable Speaker and colleagues, he was a board member of Chinyala Sugar Works, Uganda Tea Growers Corporation, Produce Marketing Board, and Uganda Medical Stores from 1989 to 1998. On November 21st, 1998, Emorimor Augustine Osuban was elected unopposed to be Emorimor Papa Iteso. He was enthroned in April 2000 as the Emorimor, the paramount chief of Iteso Cultural Institution, and worked hard to foster unity and harmony among the Iteso. Emorimor Lemukol was greatly loved for his wisdom, humility, and humanity. He wrote a number of books that added to the literature of Ateso. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, His Highness Emorimor Papa Osuban Augustine Lemukol dedicated his life to serve the nation and the Teso Cultural Institution. His legacy will be an inspiration to many people. We extend our sincere sympathies and condolences to the family, friends, Teso region, and the country at large. The Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, may his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business, for that message. As people of Teso, we do appreciate, and indeed may his soul rest in eternal peace. Before I have the seconder, I have Wechitiibwa Sebunya Robert from the Buganda Kingdom. I also have among in Jacqueline, former Member of Parliament of Ngora. You're almost welcome. Leader of Opposition, you're most welcome. And thank you, Leader of Opposition. Leader of Opposition, you've showed us one thing. With the death, there is no being partisan. You've also showed us with the issues of culture. You value the cultures a lot. And we are really very grateful, much as you've not been in the house. Welcome back to the house for this purpose.
Right Honorable Speaker, we take seriously
Members free sitting, please cross over this side.
we take seriously your well-considered comments. Position at our own motion, we elected to return to the House today to specifically pay our most deserving respects to this senior citizen and our leader, our cultural leader. And in honor of the people of Teso who have lost a dear leader, we thought it very critical that no amount of partisanship could deter us from being a part of this motion to pay our respects to the foreign citizen. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I joined the House to pay tribute to the late Paramount Chief, Emorimor Augustine Osuban, Lemukol, a revered cultural leader of the Teso Cultural Institution, an accomplished statesman and advocate of peace. Right Honorable Speaker, when I was wheeling my leadership skills into earlier at the service of His Majesty as a young man in the Great Luganda Luchiko during the articleship of Wechitiibwa Mulwanya Mulise Mogerere. In the background, I attended a number of meetings in which the foreign statesman was a part as a cultural leader from Teso. And I can stand here to attest to his humility, to his deep intellect and presence wherever he was to be a part of these meetings. I wish on my own behalf and on behalf of the opposition in Parliament to sincerely condole with the people, the Biography family initially, the Teso Cultural Institution, and the people of Teso for the loss of the Emorimor. But Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, would dearly be missed in these our turbulent times, as we all know, whose hallmark is oppression, disappearance of citizens because of political disagreements, abductions, detention without trial, and abetted torture of citizens because we disagree. The foreign statesman, for those who knew him closely, immensely never wanted to associate with these kind of vices. Little wonder, in the face of a lot of civil strife, he led his community back into unity and stability. We shall dearly miss him. Let us Speaker, in his memory, the moral efforts towards advocating for peace, socioeconomic transformation, and development in Teso and the entire country deserve to be pursued to fruition. However, this is bound to be a form of roller coaster, right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, given the fact that at his demise, the government charged with service delivery is characterized by patronage, corruption, and autocracy. Right, Honorable Speaker, drawing inspiration from the steadfastness that was espoused by the Emorimor, we ought not deter our spirits and the pursuit of a new Uganda, characterized by inclusive growth, non-violent government, servant leadership, and quality service delivery. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the nation therefore is encouraged not to mourn the demise of the Emorimor, rather it should celebrate his life and a contribution to our country, because he did so with conviction and vigor and commitment. Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'd like to use this opportunity to invite the energy of government and government agencies and apparatus to desist from working towards dividing cultural institutions, because their purpose is to unite our people. We have seen efforts in a bid to sustain power, attempts to keep our people divided by creating hitherto unknown cultural institutions in this country, Honorable Speaker. This platform, while mourning one of the unifying factors of our generation, the government should take a note of the fact that dividing our people helps no one, but rather keeping solid, well-known, documented, acceptable cultural institutions will only be the only remedy of keeping our people united. Finally, right, Honorable Speaker, many cultural institutions have come to Parliament with claims against government, and government seemingly, for the bigger part, is reluctant in compensating cultural institutions, either for usage or appropriation of their properties, land, and other assets. And instead, government is very comfortable in trying to patronize them. And by keeping them under patronage, to try and make them an instrument of political adventurism, right, Honorable Speaker. We invite government to consider it's important that these cultural institutions are part and parcel of our endeavors towards development, and therefore we must make them a part of our development agenda in our budgets and plans, but not rather keeping them as instruments of patronage and keeping our people divided. To the family of our foreign leader, to the people of Teso, we are with you, we stand with you, and we shall be with you through and through. May the good Lord receive and bless our foreign culture leader.
Thank you so much, Leader of Opposition. We really want to thank the President, the cultural institutions. When I was growing up, I didn't even know about cultural institutions, but the way the President is so passionate about the cultural institutions, No wonder the Emorimor has been a leader of peace in Teso. The person we are paying respect here is corrupt, has died corrupt-free. He's a non-violent, he has died a non-violent person. He has been a peacemaker in Teso. When we are paying tribute to him, pay tribute to him with humility as a calm person, and you will be happy wherever he is because of the humility that you're giving him. Of independence.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, I am Zijan David Livingstone, representing the people of Butembe in Jinja, Busoga sub-region, and on this occasion, representing the gallant independents in the House. I rise in support of the motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Emorimor, Augustine, Osuban, Lemukol, the paramount chief of Iteso Cultural Institution. On my own behalf and on behalf of the independent Right Honorable Speaker, we are humbled to have the privilege of paying tribute to this now resting gallant son of the chief was a loving soul whose infectious smile and boisterous laughter exemplified love for not only the people of Teso, but for all Ugandans. The paramount chief understood that he led beyond the Teso geographical boundaries, and as such, he was always reaching out to regions and cultural regions beyond Teso. On the 6th of April, 2016, while meeting the LC5 chairpersons of Teso region, in reference to the uprisings in Kasese post-election, he opined, and I quote, "I ask my colleague Mumbere, the Omusinga, to advocate for dialogue because the path of war is destructive." He understood, Right Honorable Speaker, the preciousness of peace, not only in the eastern region where the wise people come from, but across the nation. In April 2019, he visited with the Iteso community in Busoga sub-region. As he was being welcomed, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, you should have seen the energy, the smile of this paramount chief as he met his people. He has been a darling of Busoga. He has been a great friend of our Busoga nation. Tomorrow, the 11th Friday of February, the Owachabazinga wa Busoga, the cultural institution of Busoga, will commemorate our 83rd Chabazinga Day. One of the guests who will be dearly missed on this very grand and auspicious occasion of the Chabazinga Day will be the Emorimor Osuban of Iteso. He has been, and he continues to be, because I subscribe to the notion that the departed are not really departed. We still have them, except in the metaphysical world. We will remember him for his love for peace. We will remember him for his propagation for unity. We will remember him for the pacification of our nation. And on my own behalf, once again, and on behalf of the independents, and on behalf of Busoga Kingdom, which will miss tomorrow a great guest, we wish to pay tribute and to reiterate our support that this House resolves to convey condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and for the loss of a notable cultural leader and citizen, and that we as a House recognize and appreciate his contribution and service to this nation. Fly strong, even as you reign in the afterlife. Emorimor, Augustine, Osuban, Lemukol, Papa Niteso. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Seconda, Honorable Zijan. Members, I will give you 2 minutes to allow everybody to speak. But before I give the members to speak, I will first give the Vice President to speak. She's not a Vice President. You will ask that, who is the Vice President of Uganda?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues. Allow me to support the motion in honor of the late Papa Emorimor Augustine Osuban Lemukol. And I would like to thank the Prime Minister and the seconders of the motion for the very good remarks they have attributed to our late Paramount Chief. Madam Speaker, I may not have understood our late Paramount Chief in detail, but I have some very strong and important attributes that I would like also to mention here in light of the few and the interactions that I had a privilege to have with him personally, but also because of the so many things that we have read about him, we have heard about him. Madam Speaker, I think it deserves the respect that you as Parliament, the leaders of Parliament, Speaker and Deputy Speaker, have accorded to him. I would also like to thank government for according him an official burial. Madam Speaker, the late Papa Emorimor Augustine Osuban was a personal friend of mine, and I have had so many personal engagements with him, but also some official engagements with him, like indeed all of us have had. Firstly, I would like to note that he was a, and when you look at his CV, Madam Speaker, you realize that he was an academician, he was a practical and a technical from wherever he has worked. I think that's an issue that we need to emulate as we honor him today. But secondly, Madam Speaker, much as he was also a very distinguished academician, but also a practical and a thorough technical person, he understood very deeply the very strong attributes and advantages of culture. And he was able to be elected unopposed 23 years ago, and also be enthroned in a very harmonious way and a very distinguished ceremony. I would like, Madam Speaker, just to note one or two things. For instance, that Papa Emorimor was always reminding us that some of the very clear and good attributes of culture that we should always carry forward as Iteso is speaking our language as Ateso. But also he would remind us very quickly that even when you speak your language, you must respect other people's languages, other people's local languages. You would also remind us that we should we should have our cultural dress. Madam Speaker, you can see my necklace, which I have today. It's a cultural necklace, which I particularly chose to put on today in his honor, because he used to remind us that we should value our cultural dress. But even when we value our cultural dress as it is so, we must also respect the cultural dresses of other cultural people. Finally, I can see the Honorable Cecilia now wants to stop me, but I want just to say the final point, that he would also remind us that we should value our cultural food, but also respect the cultural food of other tribes. Madam Speaker, not so long ago, we were in the constituency of the Honorable Okupa Elijah, planting trees with MTN. Our cultural leader valued the preservation of environment. And he would always say 2 points: environment for ecosystem, but also environment for science and therapeutic purposes. Madam Speaker, our cultural leader loved education. When we were having a meeting with His Excellency the President on Soroti University, the cultural leader was present, and he asserted himself that government needs to establish a public university in Teso, and now we have that public university in Teso. Madam Speaker and colleagues, our cultural leader was very humble, and he was interacting with all politicians, but he would never meddle himself in the controversy of politics. He was a very clear-headed and cultural leader who in Madeira last month in a church told us that in our culture, a cultural leader was supposed to be an honor. He was never supposed to be involved in anything to do with controversies of the leadership of government. But he was supposed to entrench himself in ensuring that his people benefit from government programs. Madam Speaker, as we go out as ITESO, as we continue with these ceremonies up to the end, I think we will have to continue pursuing the values which Papa Emorimor, Lemukol, Osuban valued so much. No controversy, but government programs were a priority for him. Madam Speaker, I would like to also mention that our cultural leader would never miss meetings. If it was a cultural meeting, he would attend when he's invited. If it is a political meeting, he would attend and contribute his ideas, which he thinks would take care of the occasion. So I thank you, Madam Speaker, once again for according him this opportunity to pay tribute to him as Parliament, but also I would like to thank government for offering him the official burial. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice President. And I am sorry I'm not in the cultural attire. I had to be in the official. I had to be in the official attire, and because Papa Emorimor believed in the language, when we close, we shall sing our anthem in the language in memory of Papa Emorimor. And as one of the things of not sabotaging government programs, let's get that legacy that Papa has left. Thank you. Gender, I thought you would speak second last.
I will be second last.
You do speak second last.
Okay.
But we can have this affairs first. Then state gender.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. On behalf of the people of Kalaki, whom I represent in this August House, I would like to extend my condolences to the family of the late Papa Augustine Osuban, but also on behalf of the people of the government, I would like to express my appreciation to His Excellency, the President of Uganda, for the love and care that he gave to Papa Augustine Osuban right from the time he was enthroned to the very last moment when he passed away. The President always showed concern for the welfare of Papa Osuban, and only a few days ago in Cabinet, he again brought up the issue of the welfare of cultural leaders, especially with regard to the life and times of Papa Osuban. The President, at an appropriate time, will make a request to this House to approve a package that is exemplary of what a cultural leader is supposed to live. And I think that should be supported by all of us as a way to promote independence of this institution that we all value. If I am to describe Papa Emorimor Osuban, I used to call him the Triple H. He was a humble man, he was an honest man, and he was a hardworking man. And this was all exemplified in his time as a civil servant who served this country without any blemish. And at the moment when he should have retired to the comfort of his home, he was called by his people to give the ultimate service to them, a leader of a people united together by their culture. In the 20 years plus that he led his people, he was plagued by schisms and intrigue. And he spoke about it at his very last public appearance on the 3rd of January. He decried the greed that was plaguing even this cultural institution. But to the very last, he did not lose hope in it. And whenever he spoke, every time he spoke, it was with pride in his culture, and he always knew that the people united were stronger than the individual. He was always quick to remind us about what service to the people meant. It was service above self. It was not about personal benefits. I know of several occasions had to fuel his vehicle using his meager resources so as to be able to meet the many public engagements that he was invited to. And this is why I want to appeal to all of you that when the proposal comes to this House to properly take care of our cultural leaders, we should all support it. I would also like to appeal to the people of Teso. We have a challenge. Papa Osuban leaves us with a big challenge. For 23 years, he had to work from his own private home. We must, in the next 4 years, build a palace for this cultural union. We have to do it as our legacy and as a show of the appreciation that we have for these cultural institutions. If we cannot take care of them, then there should be no pretense in having them. These people are very important to our values. They bind us. Papa Emorimor is dead, yes, but he's alive. He lives in the culture of the people he served, and therefore the living and the unborn are linked together through the dead. That is our culture, and this is what he was proud of. And this, my people, from Teso, is what we should promote. This cultural union has a lot of challenges. I speak as a son of Teso, who has traversed Teso, who knows that Papa Emorimor has been holding Teso together by the sheer will of his power. And now that he is gone, I urge you to carefully look at the fabric of Teso and bring it back together. From Kabaramaido to Kenya, we have grumblings, and we need to face these realities, or the sacrifice of this great man will have been in vain. I loved him as a role model. I served him in several ways, and I truly pray that the Lord receives his soul in eternal peace. He loved
Thank
these
you.
people. He fought for them. He was happy when they were happy. He swore by them, and he lived for them. And we should always keep that in our minds and remember him forever as the people of Teso. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, Honorable Samo. Honorable Samo, then Dokolo. Three minutes for ministers, 2 minutes for the others. It seems the timekeeper is not doing a good job.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to join the House to condole on behalf of the people I represent, people with disabilities, and especially those ones coming from Teso. Right, Honorable Speaker, my condolences go to the family, the Ichu, and the Iteso, general in Uganda at large. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to start by first of all thanking His Excellency the President of Uganda for accepting with this cabinet, for accepting to give this parliament to pay tribute for Papa Emorimor Osuban. I also want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, because when this death occurred, as a person and as a daughter of Teso, you accepted that this body must come to this house, and this has come to pass. Madam Speaker, I want to thank my Prime Minister for accepting to come here to move this motion, because if she didn't, maybe we wouldn't be seated in this house. Madam Speaker, allow me go down to talk about Papa Emorimor. I had a friend coming from Norway. He was an ambassador in Uganda in the 80s. And he asked me one time, what is the name of your king? I told him, he's called Papa Emorimor Osuban Augustine. He said, no, I know him as Augustine Osuban. I said, where did you know him? He said, no, he was a very good friend of mine when he was working in the Ministry of Agriculture. He was a golfer. And all of us know what a golfer is. And that is the man that we are talking about. Right Honorable Speaker, he told me that this man was a man of peace, a man of humility, a very good listener, a timekeeper, and very patient. Indeed, when I got close to know our king, I found these attributes in Papa Emorimor. And I want to pray the Iteso community that let's emulate what he did. Madam Speaker, Papa Emorimor was a cultural leader, but was a very good Christian as well. And I think you mentioned this. On the 3rd of January this year, when we called to Madera for prayers for the leaders of Teso, he told us, this is the church I was baptized in. And I felt like I said, wow, a cultural leader. And indeed, I'm happy that his body will lie in state in that church in memory of this great man. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to say that Papa Emorimor has left us with challenges, but his attributes will never be forgotten.
Honorable
So
Cecilia
I want to
Oba.
conclude, Madam Speaker, with your permission. This was a leader who extended the leadership from Uganda, Ethiopia, and Kenya. And this was a leader of caliber. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you. Fare thee well, Papa, until we meet again. For God and my country. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Emma Cecilia, the 50th Prime Minister. She's the 50th Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to start by thanking you for giving us opportunity to pay tribute to this great man of Uganda. It is a rare occasion for Ugandans to come together and speak one language, the language of unity. And that's why I feel, Right Honorable Speaker, that you have done a good thing for us as Ugandans, particularly of our generation. It is important that you should know that before Uganda was born, cultural institutions were there in existence. So what we can do is only to congratulate the government that have taken us from the pre-colonial stage up to now, to thank them that at every stage we promoted cultural institutions. And I've always asked, Right Honorable Speaker, I thank God you come from the Teso community. I've always shared it with the late Emorimor, that the birth of Uganda, the unity of Uganda, is in that area under the rock called Kangai, Dokolo, which was part of Kaberamaido. That is why Uganda was born. That's where a strong resistance was put to make sure that Kabulega, Kabaka Mwanga, and Warawich remained firm, that the British could not uproot them, to prove that Uganda is one. The people of Dokolo shedded their blood. The people of Teso died to protect the king of Buganda, the king of Bunyoro, under the strong leadership of Ruarawich. So, Right Honorable Speaker, it is important, this great man. When we bury this great man, I'm on this side now, so you have to. Right Honorable Speaker, I think you need to protect me.
Order.
You need to protect me.
Order.
Right Honorable Speaker, protect me from yellow. Right Honorable Speaker, this is not a joking matter. Emorimor of Teso understood the concept of conflict resolution, understood the concept of peaceful resolutions of conflict. We know that Northern Uganda and Eastern Uganda
was devastated by rebellion. But Emorimor stood firm, and it's in Lango, Achuli, and Teso that we mobilize our own Arrow boys and our own Amura to stood side and side with the government forces to fight the menace of rebellion. So it's important that we should remember this great man as a man of peace, the man who puts Teso first, and the rest would follow. So those of you who played the role of the Arrow boys, some of you were too young, but I played my role as a Muka boy. I was not called a girl then, I was called a Muka boy. Right Honorable Speaker, I knew Papa before he became a Emorimor, and I was privileged to attend his inauguration. It was massive. We had Bateso from Kenya. I didn't know there were Bateso in Tanzania. I saw them on that day. So this was a very strong, powerful man who had actually created East Africa around Teso. So you Bateso are very fortunate that you are the leader who had shown you the way before we reach the East African Federation. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to finally say, if you could ask your technical team to have mercy on me, I'm a senior citizen. Right Honorable Speaker, some of the things, some of the young people don't know that some of us were humbled when we saw Emorimor coming out of his closet as a researcher, a distinguished researcher that made Serere Research Center to become one of the top research center for agricultural produce and really improve agriculture in this country. But he chose to abandon his profession in order to lead the Bateso. This is a humbling choice, and we Bateso should never forget that. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, Emorimor remembered did not start from the making of the Constitution. In our culture, we had traditional justice. We used to have Kayoput, and the Bateso understood it. And that's why, Right Honorable Speaker, when we talk about conflict these days, we should seek the wisdom of these old people who are still around to tell us what to do and not to be swayed by politics. Politics started yesterday, but these old people were there with our culture for generations, and they fought for unity of Uganda. Today we have independence because they were firm. Can we also prove that we can be firm just as they remain firm? Right Honorable Speaker, one request. Can we make sure that we honor all the traditional leaders who are here in Uganda? Because the government has taken it as a responsibility to promote cultural institutions. Make sure, finally, I said finally, English word finally. Right Honorable Speaker, finally, to make sure that they don't live in misery for God and my country.
Honorable members, it is good we have the age mates of the late Emorimor here in the house, and we request that you try your best to promote justice in the house and do some peacemaking as one of the elders, the OGs and of the Emorimor. Honorable Hamson Obua, Honorable Wang,
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I rise to pay tribute to the late Papa Emorimor on three fronts. Front number one, as the fraternal family of the Ministry of Education and Sports, the late Papa Emorimor gave the country a son who served at a senior position. Unfortunately, recently, he also went to be with the Lord. As we pay tribute to his late father, now here, Papa Emorimor, this is double tragedy within a very short period of time to the people of Teso. Two, Madam Speaker, as the son of Lango, the people of Teso are our brothers and sisters. I say this because when you look at our clan system, whereas in Teso you have Itekok, in Lango we have the Atek. And this is regarded as one of the finest clans in Lango, even in Teso. And I come from that clan. Whereas in Teso you have Ikaribok. In Lango we have Okarowok. Whereas in Teso you have Irarak, in Lango we have Arak. So therefore I stand with you, the people of Teso, our brothers and sisters, upon this very, very trying moment when we have lost our own giant, Papa Emorimor, the center of peace, a person who exuded unity in diversity, unity of purpose, not only for the people of Teso, but for the people of Uganda. I pay tribute as a neighbor of Teso. Our Leptong shares a border with Amuria. I share a border with Honorable. We invite each other. I invite JJ to a place called Akisim in my constituency. And when I'm there, I speak in English and it is translated because it is full of Iteso. And we do the same thing. So as a neighbor, I condole with the wider community of the people of Teso. Papa Emorimor, rest in eternal peace. God bless.
Thank you, Alebtong, Majuri, Mariam. He only didn't say that even the speaker is an attack.
Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, on behalf of the people of Ngariam County, Katakwi District, I stand here as one of the subjects of Papa Emorimor to pay tribute to the late Papa Emorimor. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, first, I would like to thank you for highlighting our history as Ateker people. Papa, the late, has been a Emorimor for all the Ateker people, right from Ethiopia up to here in Uganda. This must be made as a point of emphasis. Second, Right Honorable Speaker and the honorable colleagues, I want to put this on record. When I was growing up, I was told Iteso in full means the following. Oh, it's number one, I means we are very intelligent people. And it's a fact, we are very intelligent people. T means we are very trustworthy people. And you can hear the type of people the Right Honorable Speaker read here. They speak for themselves. At the same time, we are very educated people, as it is. All means we are very social people. If you want to see a social person, Peter Gwang is here. Oh, means we are very organized people as Ateker people, and we can speak for ourselves. The late is here. The late was one of the most organized cultural leaders we have been having in this country. No wonder you could never have our kingdom or our cultural institution having issues of disunity. Madam Speaker, for us who have remained, the following are my prayers. Number one, we need to unite our people for development. Number two, we need to work with our youth to help our cultural institutions grow beyond where Papa Emorimor has left us today. Number three, Madam Speaker, I am conflicted here. The late appointed my father-in-law to be the Minister of Security in his kingdom. I married from Tororo. I have my in-laws from Kenya. It is true our program here talks about our Papa Emorimor remaining in Tororo. I would beg government accepts that the border of Papa Emorimor crosses to Malaba, Kenya, where his subjects are, because I know Papa. Right, Honorable Speaker, Papa Emorimor has been crossing to Kenya to look after his subjects. So it's my humble appeal for our Atekere people who are in Kenya. The last one is for us as Atekere people to build a palace for our kingdom. We must stand together. We must work hard to put up a big palace for our kingdom. I thank you, Madam Speaker. May the soul of Papa Emorimor rest in eternal peace. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Bunyoro Affairs.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of Chibuku District and the Bunyoro Chitara Kingdom, I bring sympathies to the family, to the Iteso and Uganda generally. Papa Osuban was a uniting factor. He was a person of excellent character, high integrity, and he inspired many of us. As a former member of parliament for the Greater Parisa, we observed Papa Iteso not interfering in the local politics. He supported all of us. He was a wonderful mobilizer. He collaborated very well with all the other cultural leaders. We shall miss him, and I want to appeal that as leaders in all spheres, he was a source of inspiration to many, and he was a humble leader who really mobilized everybody. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to end by saying that as a country, we have lost an icon who went beyond the borders of Uganda to mobilize everybody for development, for education, and for social. When as a country we are focusing on socio-economic transformation, may his soul rest in peace.
Thank you so much. Ekanya. Honorable Biga, you will come. I'm not seeing you. You will come after. Ekanya.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of the people of Tororo and Teso, we'd like to pay our condolences to all the children, the mothers, and the women of Teso. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, in 2009, Papa Emorimor visited Tororo. That day it happened to have had a serious downpour. The people of Tororo lined more than 10 kilometers to receive the late. More than 50 cars appeared from all directions. That tour ended in Kenya, and works and business at the border of Malaba up to Magoro in Kenya came to standstill. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, Papa Emorimor made my work very easy. He negotiated, discussed with the president, and also engaged other cultural leaders to ensure there is peace. Madam Speaker, I want to take this opportunity. I have received the calls from the people of Kenya. For some of us who might be here, colleagues, part of Teso, which is in Kenya, Magoro, was transferred to Kenya in 1902. His Excellency, the President, is a promoter of East African unity and peace. It would be very, very important that the body of the late crosses to Malaba. The governors appealed to you, Madam Speaker, and to government. The people of Kenya are waiting, including the Vice President, the President of Kenya. I received a call from Governor Ojamong and requested me to put this on record for the government of Madam Speaker, that's the request. Finally, in memory of the late, we want to request the President to really resolve the outstanding question of Tororo and bring that matter to a conclusion so that the issue of the district is resolved amicably now that there is consensus both in Toro County and in West Budama. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Honorable Biga. Tororo issue.
Right Honorable Speaker, I stand to extend my condolences to the family, to the people of the Teso region, and the people of Uganda upon the death of our great elder and leader. I don't come from an area where there is a strong and big cultural institution. But I do recognize the importance of culture in our lives. And there are two for which I want to pay tribute to our elder here. Many of us, as we grow, as we go to school, we think we should abandon many of our cultural values. This elder here, this leader, did not abandon his cultural background. As an individual, perhaps we're paying attention here, we're paying tribute to him as a group. The big challenge should be, we as individuals, as leaders, are we capable of following those cultural practices which he did? That should be the challenge to all of us. He's highly educated, but that did not adulterate his desire for his culture. He remained a cultural person and therefore a personality. A person without a cultural identity is not a person. You are only what you are because of your culture. Many of our forefathers, because of religion, because of education, abandoned our cultural practices in Africa. And the result, we have to copy what we cannot practice best. What we are copying is merely a copy, but not the real thing. And therefore, we cannot be the masters. We talk about the culture promoted by Augustine. I'm sorry just to call him plain Augustine, Papa Augustine. We must know that we must have our own identity. There are good practices in our culture, even in the religious sector. I was told he's a Catholic, and yet he was practicing good cultural within the Catholic Church. So my appeal on this occasion to all of us is, this should not be a cause for us. Education and any other should not be a cause for us to abandon our cultural practice. And finally, many of our children today are growing out of control because of the absence of the cultural practices which used to teach them good manners and good ways of growing. I suggest to go back to those grounds. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Mohammed Buganda Kingdom.
Uh, Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise in support of the motion to pay tribute to the late Emorimor Augustine Osuban. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to applaud the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the Leader of Opposition for the tributes they laid down about the late. I met the late in 2016 in Bukedia in July, and he called me slowly and spoke to me. He said, I know you, Mohammed, but I know you, Muzei, more because we worked together in the civil service. Then he told me, but I'm glad you visited Teso, but don't leave Teso with nothing. Then I asked what? He said, at least go back when you know the anthem of Teso. The word, I only know Biaibosa. He said, now I'll give you this gentleman. There was a gentleman behind him who taught me a few lines in the anthem. And to date, I still remember those lines that start, Emuria koliai koliai, Emuria koliai koliai, koja ai puchkaina pakina jaiteso. I learned it that day. It was played that day. I remember we were launching the ambulance that was being donated by the Right Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker here on that day. I think it was on the 16th of July, 2016. And the diversity of our culture, you can imagine I didn't know any artist, but he told me you must leave knowing something. So I would like to commend all the people that know the wealth that is embedded in our cultures and traditions. Our diversity is not for us to disunite, but to unite. The words from the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal on how the leaders stood side by side in the fight against colonialism by trying to keep the unity in diversity of the African people is what we shall and we must uphold. The promotion of culture across borders from Ethiopia, Kenya, and elsewhere, including even those in the diaspora, the Teso people or the Iteso in the diaspora is, okay, can I wind up? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Is a manifestation that if we agree that God has not created us in the same way, that we shall have man and woman, that we shall be from different tribes, that we shall have different ethnicity, but also accept that we are one humanity, then that shall build a country and a world where we shall live in peace and harmony. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mehdi Busoga.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of Soga Kingdom and on behalf of Chigulu South Conference and myself, I wish to convey heartfelt condolences to the people of Teso and the family of the late Osuban Augustine, who is being seen off. Right Honorable Speaker, three things. One, about struggling to entrench and popularize the East African community. But the late Augustine has been an icon in promoting the integration of East Africa by crossing over borders and following up Itesos in different districts in different countries. So we salute him for that. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to tell the House that I've been to every district of this country performing different obligations, both for the party, for my party, and also parliamentary work. But Honorable Speaker, one thing that should be on record, that through the late, the people of Teso did embrace education. My first time to get to Teso, the far Teso, I was going to Katakwi when Her Excellency organized a memorial service for the late Epel, her late dad. Right now, so I got lost somewhere on the way. I stopped at a bridge where people were cultivating rice. People in a swamp would speak fluent English. Fluent English. This endeared me to like it as Teso people so much. You hear words like motimot, tamit. These are sweet words that are really endearing. Right Honorable, as we see of our senior citizen, we need to push forward his legacy. Right Honorable Speaker, about culture, there's a lot of moral decadence in society. It is cultural leaders, it is cultural institutions that we should appeal to preach mentorship, parenting, and ensure that we get back on track. Otherwise, our children, our family.
Thank you, Western Nile. Mavengina. I'm now looking at the kingdoms.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise up to support the motion moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister to pay tribute to our late Papa Emorimor Augustine Osuban. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the records of Papa Emorimor speak volumes about himself. Papa Emorimor, no wonder, was a uniting factor. Papa was somebody who valued education very, very highly. Papa was somebody who contributed a lot to peace and the development of this country. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, when you hear the age of Papa Emorimor Augustine, I think he was very, very highly educated. And at that age, it was very rare to find Ugandans who were very highly educated. And he served this country. He worked for the government at the level of a commissioner in agriculture. And it was not easy to get such education amongst our people. Even today, Right Honorable Speaker and Prime Minister and colleagues, we are still struggling to raise up the standard of education. And so we like to praise Papa Augustine for all that he has done. And Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the government led by His Excellency the President for according him this befitting send-off at the state funeral, which he so much deserves. Papa Augustine has led by example. He served the country and he fully accomplished the motto of Uganda, for God and our country. And so on behalf of the Alur Kingdom, where I come from, and also the older persons of Northern Uganda whom I represent, I would like to convey condolences to the family who are here with us, to the people of Teso, and to the whole of Uganda. And I want to thank the doctors who struggled to treat him and prolong his life, but we have to accept the will of God. And so we celebrate the life of Papa Augustine Emorimor, and we pray God to rest his soul in eternal peace.
Thank you. Timekeeper has forgotten. Actually, I have a message from the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. The family of the late Emorimor Osuban, Lemukol, Soroti, Uganda. Condolence message. Last week, we received extremely shocking and devastating news. Emorimor Augustine Osuban, a pillar of peace and a library of wisdom, breathed his last in Mulago National Referral Hospital, where he had been hospitalized for nearly a fortnight. The people of Teso are mourning, the nation is mourning, and ultimately, and most of all, a kind-hearted leader. Papa Osuban will be remembered for his contribution towards ensuring a peaceful, prosperous Teso region, employing diplomacy, honesty at every single opportunity. I pray to God to grant his family and the people of Teso the strength to get through this trying moment, as well as the wisdom to replicate the life of Papa Emorimor Osuban. May the soul of Papa Emorimor Augustine rest in peace. He sent this message, he sent this letter, and we printed it. And as you're aware, he's away. We thank him for the condolence message. There's an elder here.
It was
Age mate to Papa Emorimor. And there's Baba there. Those are age mates.
Madam Speaker, I come from Kisoro district. And in Kisoro, we don't have cultural or traditional leaders in the same way other parts of the country do. But what caught my eye about the late Emorimor was his distinctive emphasis on two vital areas that have given this nation the chance to be what it is. This nation depends on two vital areas, Madam Speaker: unity and morality. Adherence to moral values by nationals will save this country, but as it is today, we see a deterioration, a decline in the values that would normally make this nation a great nation. The late Emorimor was distinctively above many of his colleagues in putting emphasis on those two vital areas of unity and morality. And I therefore want to share my grief with those who are bereaved that this nation has lost a great man. Finally, Madam Speaker, it's essential that we recognize, all of us who are leaders, that as much as we must be proud of where we come from, the bigger factor, and this is where the Emorimor was particularly to be appreciated, the emphasis of unity of Ugandans. It's good we talk about unity of that and put emphasis on the unity of Ugandans. The Emorimor did that. May his soul rest in peace, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Baba, Honorable Gwari.
Madam
Have I seen
Speaker,
Gwari?
Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, isn't it an honor and a real privilege that you, the daughter of Teso, is the one presiding over this send-off of your paramount chief? I congratulate you for honoring this. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the Emorimor has left this earth after his subjects have risen to some of the highest positions in this country. The Vice President is here. You are here. I don't know whether J.J. Odong is doors. The cherus have been dotted all around. For blessing his subjects in this government.
Thank you.
Lastly, Madam Speaker, I come from Koboko. I'm a Kakwa.
I believe as a Nilohamite, I have some relation to the Bateso. Let me say why. The Teso call the cow Akite, we call it Kite. The Teso call the goat Akine, we call it Kine. The Teso call the son Akolo, we call it Kolo. And we really related to these people?
Yeah.
So I want to plead that the next Emorimor should find his way to Koboko and integrate us
Thank you.
into the Atesoka family.
Thank you.
Finally, I want to congratulate the Bateso. Itesot for the choosing the name Emorimor for their paramount chief. I'm told that word means unity, uniting people.
Thank you.
Whereas other cultural leaders are in chaos, the Itesot are united, working together. Thank you. May God bless the Emorimor.
Thank you, Elder. Honorable Gwari, Honorable Bwalu.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. It is very difficult to mention and sometimes very difficult to believe. When I heard the death of Papa Emorimor, I remained confused that I couldn't even believe immediately. To say it has happened. Many people have mentioned it, colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker. I may not need to repeat it, but Emorimor is what people have mentioned here. We pray to God that the person who is coming to replace him takes over all of his heart and all his hard working.
Thank you.
And we ask God to put him in the right house and rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bwalu. Apollo.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join our people in Teso from wherever they are to mourn the great son of Teso, Papa Emorimor, a man who was very humble, that some people treated that for being weak, but he was only humble. His humility was misunderstood for being a weak person. But I want to thank Papa Emorimor. He called me to his house. He prayed for me. He told me, you're going to become a member of parliament. Today I'm here, a member of parliament. I want to thank very much Papa Emorimor. Right Honorable Speaker, Emorimor was a very good negotiator. Whereas situations dictated that he could make a statement, political statements, he stayed away from that. He negotiated with the government, especially on the area of cattle compensation. I'm only disappointed that he has died before the issue of Teso of cattle compensation materializes. Number two, Madam Speaker, matter here. Teso, we were number 2 next to the Baganda. But these young men, these young women in the population secretariat and UBOS, they have manipulated the figures to reduce us to number 6. That's where we are today. But historically, we were number 2 next to the Baganda. This is on record. Now, let me tell you, so we are known for 2 things. Number 1, we are very fertile people, very fertile. Number 1. And then number 2, in Iteso, we marry more than 2 women. We are very polygamous. Therefore, in our homes, we are producing, we are very fertile. What makes the number to come down if it is not artificially manipulated? So, Madam Speaker, I want to use this occasion today as we pay tribute to Papa Emorimor to call upon the review of the figures in UBOS and the Population Secretariat that we are taken to our. Finally,
As I conclude, in 2008, Madam Speaker, when Papa Emorimor was addressing the council in 2008, I remember this, he said government of Uganda had earmarked 250 million to build a guest house in Soroti for Emorimor. Madam Speaker, this money has never reached the Cultural Union up to now. I want to know, where is this money, Ministry of Gender? Did you give us the money or not? If not, where is our money for building Papa Emorimor house? May God bless you. I thank you.
Honorable Apolot. Apolot, not Opolot.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Madam Speaker, you are aware, since I got involved in an accident on the 9th of November, I've not been able to make it to Parliament. But because of the greatness of Papa Emorimor, I had to travel from the constituency today to be part of this program. The clan leaders are there. And the people of Teso highly respect Papa Emorimor. Madam Speaker, as a unifying factor, it was during his time that we, the people of Teso, were able to meet other Teker groups from South Sudan, from Kenya, from Ethiopia, from Tanzania. And we are really very grateful about it. He promoted the cultural values, Madam Speaker. Papa Emorimor had a team of people who are moving from one district to another, from one parish to another, settling conflicts about land ownership. And we really applaud his leadership because a number of families settled down and a number of conflicts were resolved. Madam Speaker, most of our colleagues have spoken about the characters and attributes of the late Papa Emorimor. But he spared the time to attend most of the cultural organizations. I witnessed Papa Emorimor attending the enthronement of clan leaders. He had to spare time to be in Ogoma. He had to spare time to be in Chele, meaning that he was not only stationed in one area, he was able to move to various areas to witness the enthronement of various cultural leaders. And we really want to challenge the various cultural leaders across the country not to forget the values that Papa Emorimor taught them at the time he was still alive. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you, Opolot.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Kanyum County, where I'm their guardian, and on behalf of the clan of Ikaruboko Aroak, I would like to pay tribute to the late Papa Osuban Lemukol. For Philippians chapter 2, verse 17, it says, even if I'm being poured out like a drink offering on the sacrifice and service for your faith, I am glad and rejoice with you all. The late Papa Emorimor was named to bring about salvation to the people that he led. No wonder they gave him a name, Osuban. Osuban comes from the Ateso word, Asuban, which is sacrifice. And that word originates from the name of the Almighty, to mean creation, to create. And no wonder they added this other name to mean Lemukol, which would be a bull which is of a certain color or call. So it is not surprising that at this particular time, in the timing of the mighty Father, Elohim, he decided to take him, but as a message that he has left behind for the people of Teso, Africa as a whole, that your salvation in whatever suffering you've been going through has come. Get ready.
Okay,
I
roll.
thank you so much.
Okay, roll. Joan. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, for the record, I'm Bosco Crore, representing the people of Usuk County, and permit me pay tribute on behalf of the people of Usuk County and Teso. I want to take this opportunity to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda, who during the promulgation of the Constitution deemed it right to restore the cultural institutions. We are sitting here paying tribute because of the enactment in the 1995 Constitution. As the people of Teso, we want to thank the President for giving us and according us this official ceremony. The compassion that has been extended to the people of Teso across the divide, we do not underrate it. Right Honorable Speaker, a lot has been said. The character of Papa is on record, is an enviable character. The humility, the beacon of peace is not something easy to come by. He has been selfless and very sacrificing, listening to the people of Teso. And his cry has repeatedly been, I want to pray that the people of Teso are united. As a young man of that age that has not approached the elder age, we still looked up to him for his guidance. That we have lost our advisor in culture. No wonder it is not surprising that when you go to Teso, many speak English. It is true, but we have paid a big price. The culture is eroding. Our language in Kampala is getting corrupted.
John.
Thank you. Rest in peace, Papa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I want to thank all of us for standing with the people of Teso. For purposes of record, my name is Achom Joanne Alobo, the woman MP of Soroti City. A lot has been said. I just want to add a voice to one thing that Papa Emorimor always told us whenever we met him as MPs. It still goes back on cattle compensation. His wish was to see and to witness the cattle compensation take place in Teso. It is so unfortunate that he is no more and he will not be there to witness. That is in case it is to happen. He also added that with all the 44 MPs in Teso, we have ministers, we have the deputy speaker, we have the VP. There is no way Teso can fail to be compensated. If he is to be happy wherever he is, as a team of Teso, let us speak one language and ensure that we fulfill Papa Emorimor's dream. He was also so passionate about education, especially when it comes to a girl child. And he was to ensure that the government brings back the scholarship issue in Teso. It is also our humble prayer that this be revived, brought back, so that our children, this country, get educated.
Anna.
Thank you.
But before Anne comes, Anna, before Anne comes, one thing I need to assure you, the conversation will take place. The issue of education will always remain on top. they will always remain educated. While the Vice President was a minister, she negotiated for scholarships, and we still have those scholarships. Thank you, Vice President, and will always remain educated.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to offer condolences to our people, the people of Teso, on my own behalf and on behalf of the party of the Forum for Democratic Change, wherein I serve as the Deputy President. I also bring condolences on behalf of my party president, Honorable Patrick Toboy, who is also part of the Ateker people. He defined the deceased, our Emorimor, as an icon, a unifier, agriculturalist, a lover of peace, and a custodian of the culture of the great Iteso people. Right Honorable Speaker, the presence of a cultural leader brings so much unity among the people. We enjoyed unity because we had an Emorimor. And it is at this time that my heart goes out to the Renzururu people, who are also a nation state like us, Ateker people, and have for long been without their leader. Now that we are sending off Papa Emorimor, I feel their pain, and yet for them, their leader is still alive and is under political persecution. My appeal to the government is that these traditional leaders are a symbol of unity. They are a symbol of belonging for our people. Return and restore the Renzuru king to his people so that they can also enjoy their cultural heritage, just like other nation states, other tribal states, other kingdom states within our country are also enjoying with the presence of their cultural leader. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, and we'll continue enjoying the unity in Teso. Even when our Papa has gone, we'll continue enjoying our unity. Unity comes from our hearts. Isodo, Silo, Amede, Chengadola, I'm coming.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. On the behalf of the people of Mora District and my clan Irarak, I want to add my voice to the country to pay tribute to Papa Emorimor. Papa Emorimor promoted unity among the Ateker people. He would never want to identify with the cattle raids. Papa Emorimor promoted dialogue, and for Teso sub-region, Papa Emorimor not only advocated for a university, but a science-based university. This should have been because he himself was a scientist, and also he was educated by the Teso district. So I want to call upon all of us, the Ateker people, that we should advocate and promote for a palace. A palace is a very decent official residence for a king. So I want to add my voice to Honorable Minister Ogwang that we should have a very large and prominent home of a king in Teso. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Silo.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Kumi Municipality, the people of Kumi District, the people of Teso, and Uganda nationals, other nationals, I convey my deepest condolences to the family of Papa. Right Honorable Speaker, the late was our first cultural leader after the enactment of the 1995 Constitution. I'm proud of him. Right Honorable Speaker, if you look at Article 246 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, it states, subject to the provisions of the Constitution, the institution of traditional leader, cultural leader may exist in any area of Uganda in accordance with the culture, customs, traditions, or wishes and aspirations of the people to whom it applies. Our leader stayed by the Constitution. I never saw him at any moment to be on the side of the law. Unlike him, we have learned to be like him because of him. Right Honorable Speaker, the people of Teso will always miss this very kind person. He has left a large legacy. I am surprised today that some two things have happened in this house. That Honorable Cecilia Ogwal can cross over to the other side and use the other microphone on the government side for the first time as we pay tribute to Papa. Another thing, that opposition has been out of the house on protest, but they managed to come back solely for the purpose of paying tribute to the fallen king of Teso. Right, Honorable Speaker, that the late
Rosa Viga Amede.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I join the people of Teso, the parliament, and everyone in celebrating the life of Papa. We share a lot in common with Ateso. We have a belt that cuts from Ateso, actually Karamoja, Ateso, and through actually into West Nile. Madam Speaker, my prayer is to those who are alive and in the kingdom, sending him off. I pray for calm. I pray for a character that will proceed with the unity Papa has ushered, with the culture he has always believed in, most importantly, the unity. We love you so much as a Catholic, more importantly, a Roman Catholic and a sister to you, Papa. I ask you to always remember your people so that it does not change when you're not there, especially your family. I see so many girls. I have a brother who was also married from there too. We enjoy your food. We share almost the same food. May your soul rest in peace.
Amede.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On my behalf and on the behalf of the people of Butevo District, I would like to extend my hearty condolences to the family because death brings hopelessness. The establishment of the Emorimor institution brought greater peace, unity, and development, all which was stirred by Papa Emorimor. This he did not achieve without specific qualities, the quality of good listening and the quality of building consensus. One time I was in a heated meeting where Papa was present. As people made outbursts, he just listened calmly. The attribute of good temperament is not for all, but Papa Emorimor had that special attribute. I would like to thank the council up there who helped him stir the establishment. And I would like to thank the government for according him an enabling environment to serve his people. The people of Butevo will greatly miss him. For once in my across districts for cultural competitions. This was amazing. We will ask who are remaining. I urge all of
Motion.
Macho,
Motion.
Macho.
Right Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, on behalf of the people of Busia District, Evasama Begwe, and all people living in Busia, I'd like to join the rest of the people in Uganda to celebrate the life of Papa Emorimor, a great leader from where the sun rises. Many words have been talked about him, but what I can say that I'm a leader because partly I got a blessing from him through Mr. Emoloit, the chairperson of the Teso Cultural Council. And anyway, we have linkages with the people from the Teso land. That's why in Busia you get clans like in Akomolo, but in Teso they are called Ikomolo. We have Abako, we have Nakatikoko, they have Ikatiko. So we are the same people. But in general, I want to thank and celebrate his life, that he was a leader and a politician who knew how to work in all situations. He's one of the ministers who was there by then, who never went to exile, which means he's a leader who knew how to study the political temperature of all the times. I therefore want to pray and strengthen the people from Tesoland, and pray at the same time that the coming in king should continue to unite the people of Tesoland so that we work together to build stronger cultural institutions in this country. Madam Speaker, I will not leave before talking about how the people of Busia appreciate the Teso culture. Teso women are very good cooks. Women know how to dress smart.
Mbabazi Pascal.
Madam
Mbabazi Pascal.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purpose, my name is Mbabazi Pascal. I represent Wekula County from Wende District. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise in support of the motion. A lot has been spoken about the fallen king. Right Honorable Speaker, I will categorically single out a point on the great man that he has been a unifying leader in this country. In 2018, he organized a conference in the UK that unified all Ugandans from Karamojong sub-region, Karamaja sub-region, and Iteso sub-region. And it's where the Karamojong started the foundation known as Karamojong UK Foundation, which is still so important in this country in terms of promoting education, health, agriculture, and others. May the soul of the deceased rest in eternity. Thank you.
General Lalo. Such Kubo.
Lieutenant General Peter Helwelu. I rise in support of the motion, but also mourn the party.
Members, wait, we are going to put a question. Why don't you be here? We put a question. 5 minutes, we shall have put a question.
But also to mourn our departed elder. Madam Speaker, today is a special day for Papa Emorimor. And as the Bible says, greater is a day of death, the day one is born. We give glory and honor to the Almighty for his life and contribution to humanity. And we pray that may his grace lead him home. I interacted with Mzee twice when I visited him at his home. He received me, he cooked for me, we shared a meal. And I learned, he told me four things which he cherishes very much, to have passed over to him by our ancestors. The values that he cherished. One, the value of obedience, value of humility, the value of honesty, and then hard work and self-reliance. That is what Mzee Emorimor valued, and he cherished it. You could see it in him. You could see, even when he had problems, when they stopped him from going to Roro, he never fought. There was no tear gas. He went, he was law-abiding. He remained with his humility. I saw him one day when the vice president went to greet him. He stood up from his chair and greeted the vice president. He never sat. He used to dress in this leopard skin, but he didn't have a leopard hat. He had a very good hat. Madam Speaker, he has left. His generation is gone. We are left. The new generation, we have a challenge to make sure that we promote the values which he believed in. I know we have our own challenges, but if we fail to follow those values, I assure you we shall perish. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Sechi. Honorable Sechi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion to pay glowing tribute to the late Papa Osuban, who has left at a time when the country needed him most. From where I was seated, Right Honorable Speaker and members, I was wondering about this country. If such persons who have held this country together keep leaving the stage, what will befall this country? But to me, I thank the Lord for the life and the gift of life that he gave Papa. And to me, I take him as the light of this country. First of all, he was an accomplished academician and a researcher. And he had tolerance and humility. And he was not a mere culture leader, but he was serving his people, very well informed, and were saddened by his sudden demise. And as I was sharing with Honorable Alanyo, we wished if we had had opportunity to pay this tribute while he was still alive, so that he can see tribute pouring in from the north, the west, central, all over the country, to know the kind of person the article produced to this country. So we want to thank God for that life. And on my behalf, the people of Remiaga and the people of Uganda, particularly my church, the Uganda Orthodox Church, we are together with you in this time of need. And we pray that may the Almighty God
can we
rest
have the
him in
Saba
peace.
Christo? The Saba Christo of the Catholic Church,
Thank
where
you.
Papa belonged.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to pay tribute and to celebrate a life that has been talked about generously. On behalf of the Catholic Chaplaincy, Parliament of Uganda, the people of Acholi,
and my lovely husband, who is from Teso, I convey my deepest condolence. Madam Speaker, I want to give a testimony that when two communities come together, it is beautiful. On the 12th of December, 2009, the Archbishop John Baptist Odama joined us in holy matrimony, and he told us, Irarak clan and Boro clan of Lamogi, today you are one. And that day we became one. That is why today I am a proud daughter of Teso.
Thank you.
Because I was loved, I am still loved, and I will always be loved. And that is why I am here as a daughter, not a daughter-in-law, but a daughter, because I was accepted.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, allow me to say one or two regarding some of our policies. I have heard extensively how the late dedicated his time and actually read extensively. Just a second, on agriculture. But as a country, as we are struggling and working on our budget, how much of our budget is going towards agriculture? Can we make this a special tribute to Papa? That even as we look at our budget, we make it a priority that agriculture begins to shine, because this is a sector that is employing over 70% of our people. And then all these institutions that Papa worked for, Serere, Arapai, in what state are they in now? In his memory, can we do something that will uplift these institutions that will promote agriculture? Papa, rest in peace. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Amen.
Thank you so much. As we think of increasing the budget of agriculture, we should be able, as members of parliament, also look at mindset change. How much have we educated our people about agriculture? How much have our people embraced agriculture? So that's one thing that we need to do. We can put the money there, but it will end up being wasted. Kankunda, Fox Odoy, Taebwa, finally, Genda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And at this time, I want also to condone with you, the people of Teso, for having lost a great leader. Right Honorable Speaker, as I was sunken in my seat, I didn't know how to describe the feeling I had. I was feeling sad, but at the same time, happy. And it reminded me of the words Shakespeare used in Romeo and Juliet. That why are you sad? That I'm sad knowing that I hail from Ankole. I hope you understand what I mean. Having not that which having would have made me happy. I want to say I am happy on your behalf. One, for having a great leader like Emorimor. Of course, we are sad for he has passed on. But even when Jesus died, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, we were sad and at the same time happy. Sad because he had passed on, but because he had saved our sins, we were very happy. I am happy on behalf of the people of Teso for having a great leader. And I'm also sad that we have not had an experience in Nyankole. I was thinking of talking to my brothers, Okirola and Honorable Ogwang, if I can have
Right Honorable Speaker, I've learned some words like Bible shoot, Siriginyi Bambete. You can give me a piece of land and enjoy it.
But I can add you another word, Aberu. Yes, Fox.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the people of West Budama instructed me to deliver a written text, and you will permit me to run through it for about 2 minutes. On behalf of the people of West Budama and Tororo district in general, permit me to add my voice in paying tribute to the distinguished Teso cultural leader and paramount chief, Papa Augustine Osuban Lemukol, the Emorimor who passed on Saturday, 5th January 2022 at Mulago National Referral Hospital. Right Honorable Speaker, the passing of the Emorimor, Papa Iteso, is a great loss, not just to the Iteso people, but to the country as a whole and humanity in general. Right Honorable Speaker, personally, I was introduced to Papa Emorimor in early 2000 by the Honorable Mike Mukula. I had you introducing him. The Emorimor, Papa Iteso, is indeed a title that Papa Osuban Lemukol deserved. He was the epitome of kindness, loyalty, generosity, and he was a father figure to many of humankind. And Right Honorable Speaker, this includes people like the Jupadola, who hail from the great Fadola. Right Honorable Speaker, as communities, our cultures are slowly getting lost because of the intervening cultural values and practices. In the process, we continue to forfeit rich cultural norms and practices of the African people. The death of Papa Emorimor, viewed against this background, is indeed a great loss. In traditional societies, the underlying expectation is that a leader should judge rightly, act ethically in pursuance of the common good. Papa Emorimor always passed this test. He was a sage, an embodiment or encyclopedia of indigenous wisdom, well-grounded in his responsibilities to the community, the nation, and the world. He liberally and eloquently dispensed his wisdom through a mastery of language, folklore, proverbs, songs, ceremonies, beautiful cultural artifacts. I heard you talking about the leopard scheme and performing arts, myths, and he was very knowledgeable in traditional law. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Taeva.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I join colleagues on my own behalf and on behalf of the NRM caucus in the House to mourn with our colleagues in Teso. Right Honorable Speaker, to mourn with you, to mourn with our Vice President, our President, and the country. Right Honorable Speaker, it's very important to note that Papa, however much he was a chief or a king of the Itesos, he was nationalist in nature. I never had any politician on any day complaining that I've lost an election or I have not been welcomed in Teso. He welcomed all. Despite having a son of Teso as a president, everyone in Teso, and we never had any situation whereby you could say that Teso institution is supporting so and so in the elections. he was very clear. Everyone is welcome in Teso. He never got involved himself in the politics. Papa also supported government programs. He knew that government is a partner. He never tried to compete with government. And I think that's a very strong message to other cultural institutions, that you don't compete with government, but you partner with government. Government is a very, very strong institution for whom cultural institutions cannot challenge, but can only work with. And we thank Papa for that. May his soul rest in peace. And I want to pledge to our colleagues that the moment you of yielding the Paris, we members of the NRM caucus in Parliament, we shall mobilize ourselves from Karamoja, Mankore, from Kigezi. We shall come and we support you and we ensure that we get a Paris for the institution of Iteso Kingship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, leader of government, government chief whip. I will always appreciate. And of course, what you have said is very important, coexistence. It's a very important thing. Honorable Elijah, give us a direction. You're not going to speak, you will speak at the funeral. Honorable Elijah is the area member of parliament.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here to second and support the motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Papa Emorimor, His Highness Emorimor Papa Adugala Osuban Augustine Lemukol, and as moved by the Prime Minister, seconded by the leader of opposition and a number of colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you because when His Highness was referred to Mulago, you were called, and the doctors at Mulago said, you are patient. In fact, they gave him a name, you are patient. I want to thank you for the role that you played. But it is only, as written in Ecclesiastes 3:1-18, there's time for everything. There's time to be born and time to die. The Almighty God took his life. Allow me also thank the Vice President. Last month, for prayers that were called in by the Christian leaders of Teso, headed by Bishop Echiro, the Vice President, the guest of honor. I want to thank you for the assistance that you gave on top of what you have been given. Without your help, Speaker, Your Excellency, maybe would have died some time back. We want to thank you. Of Soroti Hospital, who took care of his life for a number of years when he started feeling sick. And most especially, allow me, on behalf of the people of Serere, where on the 19th we shall be laying him to rest, to thank His Excellency the President for the help that he has always accorded to His Highness and to the Kingdom. Many of you are aware that some time back, he had a problem with his knees. He was flown to India, where he had some knee cap replacements. We want to thank the government for that. For giving a befitting send-off. That also enabled you, Madam Speaker, to give this sitting today to honor Papa Emorimor. Thank you for the official offer that you gave for that. A lot has been said. Mine is to thank you, being the area MP, for all those kind words
that you have given to the son of Teso, the son of Serere. We are proud, we are humbled by the kind gestures.
Thank you.
Allow me now to say that Papa will be laid to rest on the 19th of this month. This was upon the request by the family, but we also thank the government for accepting that. So it will be in Serere. It's not very far from Serere Town Council. It's just barely a kilometer, 2 kilometers from the town council. So I want to ask all of you to join
Thank
us
you.
on that day as we say farewell. There's detailed program that will be passed on. The Minister of Gender will give you, because even the people of Kenya have been asking, Madam Speaker, the Vice President, the people in test of Kenya have been asking, is it possible for us to, the body to cross to Bungoma? But we leave it to you, government, whether that's possible. The people of Tororo, the people of Sudan and Ethiopia are represented here by Engineer Piat, representing our people from there. So, but the Minister of Gender will give detailed information. We are a big group. We're a big group, and we thank God for that. We thank God for that. So, with this few words, we want to pray that the Almighty God that gave us Papa Emorimor receives his soul and puts him in eternal life. We also want to pray for journey mercies as we journey to Serere to say farewell to Papa Emorimor. Thank you, all of you. To the family, we're indebted to you, shall always be with you. We pray with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we hear motion? I thought we would hear from the minister first before you bring a motion.
I thought he closed.
Pardon? Okay, let's first hear her motion.
Right Honorable Speaker, before we pronounce ourselves on the prayers, I beg to move under Rule 61 to amend the prayers by adding Roman 3 and 4. Roman 3 to read that Parliament requests the government to revive Serere Agricultural Research Center in the memory of the late Emorimor, who played a critical role in the establishment of this institution. Roman 4 to read that the government to fast track on the building of the official palace of the Teso Cultural Institution in memory of the late Emorimor, who displayed high level of unity in the region and the country. I beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? Is it seconded? Yes.
Thank
Procedure,
you.
let's get the procedure first.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. We know it very well in the Constitution. Any motion that has a financial implication must come from the government. And such a motion also, even when it is coming from the government has ways it works. We would need it first going to cabinet and approve, and then government is able to present here. So procedurally, if it is just for urging, it would be okay. But if it's a prayer to say,
If I heard very well, it is saying urging government.
No, that was not on urging.
Urging government.
Urging was on
Okay,
Serere Institute.
correct it. Urging government. Can you correct your motion? Correct your prayer.
Urging government.
The first one, she's urging government to ensure that Sorority is, revived. The second one is urging government to ensure that there is There is fast tracking of the kingdom and the palace. It is urging, not instructing. And when you're urging, you'll take it back to cabinet. Is the motion seconded?
Yeah.
Seconded by Elijah, by Aru, by the two Sabakristos, by Kakunda, by Kanya, Adeke, Joan, Alebtong, Tororo, Cosmas, Doctor, Mutai. Thank you, the whole house.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate very much the unanimous support that has been given to this amendment. The old man, the Papa we are paying tribute to today was not an ordinary person. This man dedicated all his life to research or to ensure that agricultural production and quality of production was improved in this country. It is very disheartening, Right Honorable Speaker, that under your chairmanship, Serere Research Center is almost vandalized, no longer in existence. And yet we are very grateful that this Papa of ours played a critical role in the establishment and ensuring that agricultural production was improved in this country.
Thank you.
And Right Honorable Speaker, it is very, very important that the palace be built not in the country. I beg to move, and I want to thank you, Right Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you, Honorable Minister Gender.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. I want to first thank the family and the institution of the Cultural Union of Teso for the hard work that they have been engaged in that resulted into the program and the determination of when we send off our leader. I want to thank Honorable Cecilia for the motion and Right Honorable Prime Minister and all those who have spoken. I want to thank you all and associate myself to all the achievements that have been articulated. But let me reaffirm on the question of his role as a cultural leader. He was one of those cultural leaders that was very instrumental in developing the culture of the people of Teso. And when he got into office, he started with determining with this executive the flag, the Teso flag, because that is the embodiment of culture. The Teso anthem and the constitution and the logo, because no cultural institution can operate under the Ministry of Gender and Government without the constitution. So gazettement is on the basis of this cultural embodiment of the institution, which is spearheaded. Right Honorable Speaker, he fought for customary, because in most circumstances, land rights and how to code land is very crucial. And that's why in the Constitution, there are 4 types of land tenure system. And under the customary land tenure system, each of the cultural leadership is supposed to come up with how land is managed. And that is one of the cultural institutions that came up with the guidelines on land, customary land ownership under his leadership. I was with him in the Juba peace process, and he committed himself at that time, 2006, to make sure that as a cultural leader,
He was among those who spoke to Joseph Kony to accept peace talk. He worked hand in hand with the Ministry of Gender to campaign against early marriages, teenage pregnancy, and gender-based violence. He was very instrumental in initiating a scholarship, which is called Emorimor Scholarship, which up to now about 200 children have passed through that that scholarship, and some have graduated. He also initiated Iteso Cultural Union Development Forum, and it has participated in several development initiatives. And during the COVID-19 campaign, he has been very instrumental in the campaign for vaccination. And as he was in leadership, he raised the issue of the palace. And somebody alluded to the 250 million. Yes, that money was earmarked, but on the premise that the cultural institution would give a land title. But because we had not got a land title, it's recently that we have been notified that the Soroti District local government has given plot 15 to 17 Serere Road in Soroti to be the cultural, the land for building the palace. So we'll now request that they tender in officially this under the Iteso Cultural Union so that we are able to process this and build the palace. So I welcome the urging of this motion and commit that once we get that commitment, we shall proceed with that. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to also respond to the issue of the program. We, through the consultation with the family and the the executive of the Cultural Union, discussed the issue of the Iteso from Kenya being able to pay their last respects to Papa. And their proposal, which was adopted by government, was that Tororo is a district which is near the border, and that the delegation of Kenya would be able to cross and come to Tororo. And we have consulted with the Tiangadola Kingdom, and they have issued a press release welcoming the Tororo program, which is on Wednesday. So I want first to thank the Tiangadola and the people of Tororo for joining and uniting together in this very important program. And I would propose that if we could, since it was in consultation with the family and the cultural institution of Iteso, and already the kingdom of Tiangadola has welcomed this in the spirit of togetherness, that if the people of Kenya can cross to Tororo, I would prefer and request that we would encourage them so that we unite together in Tororo on Wednesday. However, we have our meeting tomorrow for the organizing committee, the interministerial committee. I will still put that proposal because the representative of the cultural union will be there. And we review this proposal vis-a-vis Tororo, whether we drop Tororo, and then the issue of whether it's okay to push it to Kenya, and what is the implication of the foreign relations, and looking at how soon we can get the go-ahead from the government of Kenya. So I think that one we will be able to review tomorrow and will update accordingly. Right Honorable, I want to thank you. I want to thank the members, and I want to say that may his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Gender. And sincerely thank you from the time the old man passed on. When you learned of it, you've been involved. I called you. You've been involved. Thank you for that devotion. As it is, so we are highly indebted. And Prime Minister, thank you so much. And you have something to say?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I felt I should give you this information. On behalf of Cabinet, the President has directed that we organize an interministerial committee to look at all cultural institutions so that we bring a budget here that can help them. He was talking at least 60 million per month. The President wishes these cultural institutions well, such that these cultural institutions can do and perform their mandate. So I thought as we mourn Emorimor, I needed to give you this information that as
Thank
government, we are in the process of making sure that these cultural institutions can have some better funding than what they have. Thank you so much. May the soul of Papa Emorimor rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business, for that information. And Toto Jessica Lupo, what would we do without you as ITESO? We want to thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution, for your guidance, and for your calmness. I think you're learning from the late that you have to be calm. I now put a question that this house pays a glowing tribute to the late paramount chief of the ITESO Cultural Union, Emorimor Papa ITESO Augustine Kadugala Osuban Lemukol for his distinguished service to this nation, with amendment from Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you so much.
The anthems.
Honorable members, thank you so much for coming to the House. I now direct the clerk to get the resolutions of today's session and give it to the family, give it to cabinet for implementation. As we conclude to pay tribute, I want to make the following appeal to the ETSO and government to strengthen the cultural unions by constructing the palace as it has been promised. Also to coexist. Cultural union should coexist with the government. As the government chief whip has said, government is a very strong institution. We can't live without it. So we need to coexist. We need an active involvement of the youth in the cultural institutions. We also need to make sure that we argue our own ETSO, my own people, to pursue unity of purpose. Emorimor has gone. I know there will be issues, but let's have unity of purpose. Unity will help us to develop in TESO. The ETSO are very proud people. Very, very proud. They think they have, ETSO will tell you, throw my mat out if you are not an ETSO. But it is out of this unity that we can be able to remain with that pride. As we conclude, lastly, I want to thank everybody, all the members of parliament, the members in the gallery, the family. Thank you, God bless you all. I say all this for God and my country. The House is adjourned to 2 p.m. on Tuesday.